Our jargon term for today is negative reinforcement. Now, this is a tricky one, okay? So we're going to go through what the actual definition is, what the working definition is, and then we're going to break it down a little bit, all right? Because this one is hard for the adult mind, and more people get tripped over this than any other jargon term because it's too simple and uses some words that we're used to pairing up with other things. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Our actual definition for negative reinforcement is negative reinforcement occurs when a behavior is followed immediately by the removal of or escape from a stimulus that in doing that increases the likelihood of a behavior occurring again in similar conditions in the future. All right, not the worst definition, but still a little bit like, huh? So let's move on to our working definition. Negative reinforcement, when something unpleasant is removed or ended following a behavior and it results in that behavior being more likely to happen again in the future. Okay, even that is a little bit dicey for me. We talked on Tuesday about positive reinforcement, and I said think of the plus sign when you're thinking about positive reinforcement and it's something is added. Right? And whatever is added makes it more likely that the behavior is going to happen again. You can't just say, well, we add something. If it doesn't make it more likely that the behavior happens again, then it's not a reinforcer. With negative reinforcement, it doesn't necessarily mean that the reinforcer in and of itself is negative. We're just seeing the minus sign. We're removing something. It doesn't necessarily have to be aversive. And I think this is where people, they hear negative reinforcement and they think punishing, right? Oh, well, we need to torture the person and then remove the torture in order for it to be a negative reinforcement. No, that's not the case. There's lots of negative reinforcement. The vast majority of negative reinforcement doesn't have to do with that. That's effective, okay? But it means removing something. So here's a really good example of negative reinforcer. Drying your hands on a towel is negative reinforcement. Say what? Okay, so your hands are wet, right? And you want to do something about that, right? You go over to the towel and you dry your hands on the towel. You're removing the wetness from your hands. So drying your hands on a towel is a negative reinforcer for you. And the next time that your hands are wet again, you are more likely to go and dry your hands on the towel because it worked, right? It removed the wetness from your hands. That's a negative reinforcer. I know your brain just went like, what? Let's go back again. So positive reinforcement is you're adding something that makes it more likely to happen. Negative reinforcement is when you're taking something away. Think about you're in your car and it starts to rain. I know I'm picking a water example again, but you're in your car and it starts to rain. And so what do? You put on your windshield wipers. That is negative reinforcer, and you're going to do it again and again and again. Why? Because it took something away. It takes, the water off of the windshield so that you're able to see. And you are more likely to engage in the behavior of putting your windshield wipers on in the future because it took away the negative thing. Now, guess who, for adults, because we have been so indoctrinated into negative means bad, right? Not negative means subtract, that we struggle with this. And if you don't get it the first time, let me just say, join the club. Right? This is one of the hardest concepts, even for therapists, to understand. Plus, add, negative, take away. That doesn't mean negative as in punishing. But you know who is brilliant at negative reinforcers? And they're just like geniuses at it? Children. Children engage in negative reinforcement with their caretakers on a daily basis. Now, sometimes that's aversive, right? That if we ask a child to do something and the child screams and goes, ah, right? And we immediately go, all right, we're not going to do that. Right? They're training us with negative reinforcement because we're more likely now, if they scream, to pull something away than we were before. They are champs at it. They get it very well. But we can learn from them. But again, I don't want to confuse you. It sometimes can be aversive, what the thing is that gets removed, right? But it doesn't have to be. There are lots of times that we engage in negative reinforcers that are not necessarily the height of unpleasant, and we don't want to be setting up circumstances. Good quality ABA does not use aversives except in very controlled circumstances, and those aversive circumstances are never to torture an individual, never. So negative reinforcement, again, if you didn't get it this time, that's okay, we'll revisit it. Just think the plus sign and the negative sign. And remember, a reinforcer, by definition, it's only a reinforcer if it increases the likelihood that the behavior happens again. Okay, so we adding something to make sure it happens again, that's positive reinforcement. We subtract something in order to make sure that the behavior happens again. That, my friends, is negative reinforcement.